I do want to draw your attention and viewers to the legal setbacks that the administration has faced, because they've dialed this up over the weekend, right after yielding to a Supreme Court ruling formally on Friday in a process that took some time, but where the administration returned 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐠𝐞 Garcia, who had been mistakenly deported to the wrong country. That wasn't even in dispute. The question was whether they would follow the Supreme Court order to facilitate his return. And so then over this weekend, having yielded in one place where they comply with a court order, and that is the actual legal outcome of what had been quite a serious matter that went all the way up to the Supreme Court with a 7-2 loss, they turn around and on the weekend have something where they can look like, and in some sense be, on, quote, offense or pushing other powers. As a student of how this all works, who's also been inside, you know, the executive branch yourself in a certain way, do you think there's a link here? And do you think that that's part of the problem of the endless theatrics of the Trump administration? They didn't want much time or attention on what ultimately turned out to be them yielding to the high court.
Yeah, I think that you've touched on two very important issues, I think. One is that this sort of legal strategy is consistent with a strategy we've seen repeatedly since the start of this administration, with concerns invoking these emergency powers, these obscure laws, in order to deal with problems that are not emergencies, right? We saw this when they invoked trade deficits as an emergency for the tariff framework. That was rejected recently by the Court of International Trade, but that's up on appeal. In the case of 𝐾𝐨 Garcia and a bunch of the other deportations, there's been this claim that the Alien Enemies Act should be invoked, or has properly been invoked, because we're somehow at war with or engaged in hostilities with Venezuela or 𝐟𝐸𝐺, which is simply not true. This is a very problematic trend for a democracy, having emergency powers laws being invoked so regularly and almost becoming the norm. The second thing I would say concerning sort of the politics around this is that there is plenty of reason for Trump to want to draw attention away from what is going on in the rest of his administration.